Bulldogs. Once again, left it until the start of the show to set the mic up in the right position. I'm glad you saw it, Synth. Sorry, the full experience of the new intro is exclusively for people who bother subscribing. Thank you. There we go. I just had to switch over to the right scene so that I could see. In studio mode, it doesn't tell you if your mic's working, which is very useful because people who work in TV studios hate knowing if their equipment is working properly. Welcome to a very spooky edition of Multiverse. In this universe, it might look very much like the universe you're familiar with. However, not everything is quite as it seems. For in this world, a simple ventriloquist dummy could be haunted in some manner, some fashion of poltergeistery. Perhaps the thing in your dad's basement isn't just a normal plant, but if memory serves, an evil plant. Perhaps the kids wearing the jack-o'-lanterns on their head for Halloween are actually aliens who naturally have pumpkin-shaped heads. I think was the ending to that one. That was one of my favourites as a kid. I liked the cover. It's very gruesome, very scary. A bunch of jack-o'-lantern people about to kill some kids, which was cool. Goosebumps. All this to say, it's time for Goosebumps. What is this?
It's
No, I didn't
time
say
for
aliens.
Goosebumps. It's time to get scared. It's time for Goosebumps. It's time to get scared. I love my Yo multiverse streams. Goosebumps, 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 goosebumps. Scary houses, scary people, dolls, mummies, vampires, wolves, wolverines, vampires, scary monsters, aliens, storms, ugly people, and nerds. It's time for Goosebumps.
Thank you to the Goosebumps kid for sending me the Goosebumps theme tune. Very last minute. I'm not telling you. I can't tell you. It's part of the mystery of the show. It's the kid from Goosebumps. It is the kid from Goosebumps. It's the real Goosebumps kid. Apparently a fan of the show. Heard that I was going to do Goosebumps, and messaged me 45 minutes before the show was due to go live, saying, "I'm going to do you a Goosebumps theme." So I've got a Goosebumps theme. That was a lovely treat. Thank you to the Goosebumps kid for sending that to me. No, I didn't say aliens. I don't think I said aliens. I might have said aliens. I don't think that I said aliens. Look, the great thing about the format of this show, which I did realise having made the new intro, based around the premise of there being lots of me. I was like, when was the last time there was anything to do with that on the show? What? I've gotten away from it again. I thought I had a premise for the show, and I've gotten away with it. But what is good about what this show has become is I get to do stuff like that, which takes up so much time. I just get to listen to music and watch little videos, and I just get to sit and I just drank 3/4 of a cup of coffee during that. It was the perfect temperature, ready for me to go, and I didn't have to worry about dead air because someone else was doing all the work for me. No one's ever said aliens, and even if I did, R.L. Stine is a creative genius. So if he tells you there is a creature called aliens, then there is a creature called aliens, okay? The vampire in the basement, there's a lot of basements in Goosebumps, is your granddad. That's just the way it is. Jack-o'-lantern people are aliens. The theme song might have said aliens. I didn't sing the theme tune. I'm not the Goosebumps kid. I'm famously not the Goosebumps kid. It's one of the top 5 things. It's one of Watch Mojo's top 5 things that anyone knows about Maiko, is that I'm not The Goosebumps Kid. Well, this is good. We're imagining things. We're imagining things. Oh, I really want to click on that link, but every time I click on a link, it locks me out of chat. Yeah, because the first thing we need to do, and let's just jump into the close-up, is, and I do apologize for how this stream is going to go, because I know I said last time that I was going to spend this week learning to use Scrivener, and that's why I'd held off until this week. But I made a new intro sequence instead. That's what I did. I decided to learn how to use form effects on After Effects because I'm currently obsessed with learning to do new things on After Effects. So I still don't really know how to use this, but we're gonna figure it out as we go. It's fine. Well, look, this is the twist, because that's what I was saying. We need to figure out the formula. Goosebumps has a really specific formula. There used to be a really good blog, actually. I think it's called Blogger Beware, if someone wants to try and find that and put a link in the chat and read through that. Reviewing each of the Goosebumps and breaking it down into its formula, into its format. Yeah, I'm just going to use Scrivener. It's like Word, but there's 1,000 more things you need to know in order to get it to work. Apparently, it's a lot better for keeping track of things when you're writing a full work of fiction, but only if you know how to do it. And it tells you the tutorial should take a minimum of an hour to get through. I've had several hours this week. I'm not going to try and do the maths on how many hours I've had this week, but I have had several hours. Like latex? Hey, how's it going, grocery guy? Everyone's making it. Everyone's making it today. That doesn't usually make it. So presumably here is where we can type the title of our project. And maybe we don't know what the project title is. Or maybe, and I don't know if this is how R.L. Stine does it, but maybe you come up with a project title and then you figure out where it is from there. I have a feeling that's probably how it goes, right? He'll think like, oh, Night of the Living something that isn't dead. Night of the Living Aliens, perhaps. And then he'll just write a story around that. Or he'll say the mummy in the closet. And then there'll be something about a mummy in the closet. The actual plot probably won't involve a mummy in a closet. That'll probably be a very small part of it. There will be a mummy. It might never be anywhere near a closet in the book, if memory of the books serves. I think it does. Michael Jackson's daughter is Craig's new crush. A little bit of gossip there for you. Don't really like to gossip, but that's what I've heard. I've heard that Craig, right, has just seen a photo of Michael Jackson's daughter, and he is crushing on her pretty hard. That's what I've heard. Don't know Michael Jackson's daughter. What's Michael Jackson's daughter? Paris? Is that right? Or am I thinking of Hilton? There's definitely a Paris Hilton. That's undeniable. Paris Jackson is Paris Jackson. Okay, good. It's good. It's good that I know that. Not sharing, but maybe. Okay, so maybe. What's the formula? Right, let's get out of our title page, because there is apparently a thing in Scrivener somewhere where we make our notes. Okay, I'm guessing it's this tab that says notes. And what we're going to do is we're going to add a sub-document into our notes. This is going to be our research section. So perhaps our mind is on Paris Jackson today. So, well, I think that Goosebumps typically has an author assigned, but there's no reason Paris Jackson couldn't be involved in some way. So I'm just going to put that. We don't know in what way Paris Jackson is involved, but Paris Jackson is involved in some way. You've got to have notes. That is apparently the great thing about Scrivener, is that you can have all of your things. You can see all these things down the side. That's called a binder. I did read that much. And all of that has all of your research in it. The child that knows expiry dates. That is a very Goosebumps style thing to write. The child that knows expiry dates. Because, yeah, I think generally the thing that, or, the summer that or I can't believe my relative is a blank. That's a very Goosebumps style thing. So it'd be like the summer my grandma grew a tail. And for instance, that one would be about a kid who finds a magical crayon at a carnival, and he learns that he can make things come to life by drawing with it, and he accidentally gives his grandma a tail in one of the chapters, but the rest of it will just be about general mayhem, alien mayhem. Seth. That is so Goosebumps. That is so Goosebumps, Seth. I'm putting that in the notes because I don't want it to disappear from chat forever. I don't want to accidentally click a link and never be able to read that again. I don't need to write the full thing. I was starting to write the entire thing. Okay, so a kid who, how does he get this power? We'll figure it out. We'll figure out how he gets it. He probably finds a magical object in an old antique store, right? That's generally how it's done. An antique store in their small, boring town that they're desperate to get out of. They're 10 and they're desperate to get out of town. And they stumble across this antique store, a sort of what's the Stephen King book? Needless Things. Is that what it's called? With the antique shop, and the devil runs it, and it's not a horror, and everyone's kind of disappointed in it because they think it's going to be a horror because it's Stephen King and it's about the devil, but it's actually good, but not in the way you think it's going to be good, which is bad. Apparently, I think it's good. I like that one. The kid drinks an expired product. The Straight Story. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. That's the one I'm thinking of. Everyone went into that thinking, oh, it's going to be a classic Stephen King book. Maybe the child says, I see alive people. He could do. What if the killer from Scream, right? And it's not the killer from Scream that you're thinking it's going to be. I'm leaning very heavily out of my bubble. It's not the Scream killer you think it's going to be because his face is kind of melted into a smile, right? And what if he said, I see alive people? And then he said, wada, to his pals on the phone. What if he was stoned? What if the Scream killer got insanely friggin' high? I mean, maybe that's not for this one, but maybe let's put that on the multiverse calendar. I know, I'm sorry, it's another fast talking day. Little by little, I'm letting you all hear my real voice. I've done slowing and cleaning my accent, my dialect for your North American ears, and I'm injecting little bits of my speed and my glottal stops back into my speech until eventually you won't even notice the difference. You'll hear how I actually talk, and you'll understand it. Not going a mic a minute. That should be the name of the show. Maybe we could do one of those, a Star Wars minute, your one perfect shot things about multiverse, and it can be called a mic a minute. Yeah, exactly. You just don't understand. There was a consonant shift in the late 18th century. We stayed saying alien, and you all say alien, but it's like aluminum and aluminium. They're both technically correct. They're both, people will understand what you're talking about. There's no wrong answer. Kid gets morphed into something. I like this. I feel like there was one about a kid melting, although I might be mixing it up with Alex Mack because that was very similar. Snooth nooth, X-Lax. That's how I would say it in my accent. Aluminium. Aluminium is not, it's not wrong, okay? I will concede, I do think, if I'm remembering right, aluminum was the original name, but then it did get changed officially to match elements in the same grouping, because there's no there's eums. There's lots of eums on the periodic table. I don't know, I scraped by in science and dropped it the first chance I got, so don't quote me on this, but I believe it's true. Aluminium. It's got an I in it. It's not like we're just pronouncing it wrong but spelling it the same. Yeah. It's just the way it is. Sometimes aluminum gets changed. That's just the way it is. Yeah, kids getting morphed into a teacher, right? He sees an expiry date. Okay, I've already lost the comment I was trying to type. I've got 3 words into it. I just can't say it. Aluminium. Yeah, aluminium. Aluminium. Thank you. Because I'm not reaching. Look, my phone. I'm stretching for my phone right now. I can't reach it. That's how I read the chat. I've got it on a little tripod next to my camera. I can't quite get to it. Perfect. Right. A kid who, you're right, he gains the ability to look at things on shelves and see their expiry. No, not expert. Don't correct me. Expiry date without reading it. I know I'm paraphrasing even while I'm looking directly at it. because I'm just not paying attention. And then he looks at his grandma and sees her expiration date, and that is copyright Seth. And then the kid morphs, right? The kid morphs into a teacher. I guess in the process of trying to put this right, he goes back to the antique store maybe, and something else happens. He gets morphed into a teacher. Because sometimes there were Goosebumps stories like that where it would start off with one thing, then more things would happen. It wasn't always just one focus. And in fact, part of the formula, this is why I was thinking of the blog before, because one of the things I remember they always used to point out was there's always an utterly meaningless twist at the end of a Goosebumps book. It's just part of the formula. It's expected. So even if it makes no sense, even if the story's heading one way that would have already been satisfying, they have to throw something completely different into it. In fact, even the one about the vampire and the werewolf, it ends with them finding. So it starts with them finding a thing called vampire blood, which I think is the name of the story, and then it ends with them finding another jar labeled werewolf sweat. I think werewolf sweat, and that's the big twist. I don't know what it means to this day. I remember it, but I don't know what it means. I guess there's also a werewolf, and you just expected to finish the book and go, oh, oh no. Okay, smooth move X-Lax. Yeah, that's definitely the sort of thing they would say. I remember in one of them, one of the parents says rad, and the kid tells them off for saying it because it's not cool anymore. I'm not sure which part of the 90s that was, where rad suddenly became so uncool that only parents said it. Maybe that was one of the later entries into the canon. A kid whose grandma will die someday. Yeah, I'm just writing this down. There's no bad ideas. There are no bad ideas. A kid whose grandma will die someday. Band kid. Yes, yes. It's haunted. This is perfect. It's possessed. Possessed by a haunted saxophone. I do feel like you are stealing from Cynthia's life somehow. You're changing some of the details, but it's mostly there. There's one of the books, and I think this might have been the Jack-o'-lantern one again, but the two main characters, it was a boy and a girl who were best friends. That's very typical. I guess that's progressive in a way in Goosebumps. There's usually sort of platonic mixed gender friendships, and they were described as being so tough that they enjoyed the sound of nails on a chalkboard. That's the sort of kids we should expect to find in one of these books. Platinum. How long did it take you to look that up, Yuridov? We were talking about that 15 minutes ago. So desperate to prove me wrong about the periodic table, you went and Googled what element end with I know that's what you did. Yeah, it's pretty twisted. I mean, can you imagine how tough those kids must be if that was something they got pleasure out of? Science teacher, yeah. Whenever a teacher is also the gym teacher, I think that is the sort of thing you would expect them to find. I remember my PE teacher telling me he didn't know any gay people, but he'd read about them in books. That's just something that I remember from my school days, which was cool. Just cool. That was cool. This was the mid 2000s as well, so not even so long ago that we didn't all know better. We did. He did. What if a kid was the president? Prez. You're talking about the comic Prez right now, which might have been a TV show as well. But you are talking about Prez. You're currently talking about Prez. I think every president who's ever held office has had a gun. But I still like it. I love the energy of it. What if the president? Okay. What if kid was president? Maybe I should start a new document for this for president ideas. I'm going to start a new. Okay, here we go. Right, we're starting a new note page. Here, are we? Yeah, we are. Here we go. We're going to title this. Oh, that works. Cool. Presidents. Okay, these are all our president ideas. Okay, so what if? See how good Scrivener is? Can you imagine trying to do this on Word, opening a whole new document and having to tab between them all? Insane. What if a kid was president? What if the president was a dang Cheeto? What if president had a gun? What if president fucking blew up? Yeah, Scrivener. One of the best things about Scrivener, hashtag spons, is that it respects brands. It respects brands. It's not going to get you in trouble with your sponsorship deals when you're pitching it on a stream, when you're hawking it, when you're shilling it. It knows that you could currently be doing some sponsored content. You could be doing an ad read in the middle of your show, and it's not going to get you in trouble. And that's what I really love about Scrivener, is the freedom it allows me to talk about those dang Cheetos. Nobody wants them in the White House, but get me a bowl of them. Give me a porcelain bowl full of Cheetos and a knife and a fork, and I am in hog heaven. What would the kid do if the neighbors were following her? Right. Okay. We're back to the Paris Jackson tab. Okay. What if kid thought neighbors were following? Okay. What if the kid checks her emails very quickly? Imagine people seeing your emails. Imagine people seeing your emails. Can you imagine if someone saw your emails? God, imagine if someone saw your emails. Imagine. Yeah, imagine if someone saw your emails. What if the kid... You like the frame rate? It's good. Even the credits worked pretty well today, didn't they? The credits look pretty good. What if dreams are real life and life was a dream? Okay. What if the kid can read emails in his mind? I mean, that's maybe something we need to decide, because I don't know that there's... I mean, actually, no. Does he still write Goosebumps books? I feel like he does. But it's probably not quite as big as it used to be. Because even the film, and I only saw the first one, but it was only referencing characters and situations that I remember from 20, 25 years ago. Smooth frame rate, X-Lax. Oh yeah, we are also going to have to change it. I tried to find the Goosebumps font, but no one's actually made one somehow. No one's actually made one. So we are going to have to go off-brand anyway. And yeah, we're going to have to do a Zoggy, I think, with the title. So maybe we do need a new name for an author, because R.L. Stine is probably copyrighted in his mind. I feel like Sheeta is right an hour ago that the writer's room is great today. It's going so fast. I don't know if I've caught all these ideas. If I've missed one, just spam it again. It's engagement. It's all engagement. I'm deliberately ignoring some of you so that you have to keep commenting to get our stats up so that we can hit partner. What if the kid can read emails in his mind? Perfect. So yeah, what I was saying was, what was I saying? What era is this set in? Are we going back to the 90s with it? Are we going back to the 90s, or is this a modern day Goosebumps story? Enjoy the hot dog, Yuridov. Getting pixelated. Now that's the thing. I don't know how many computer era ones. I remember when the millennium hit and Goosebumps became Goosebumps 2000, and they were all basically sequels to the classic stories. Not even with any sort of modern twist. They just had the word 2000 on the cover, and I think there were some holograms maybe involved in the cover. Because they were already embossed, right? The covers were already beautiful. They must have been very expensive Goosebumps covers, because they had wonderful, like, kind of 3D elements to them. The Mailer Demon. Yes. No, we don't want to accidentally write Space Jam 2, but the Goosebumps TV movies. No, I remember the series where all the books were split into two-parters, featuring an early performance from pretty much all of your favorite Canadian actors. About, any Canadian actor 36 years old, roughly. They were all on Goosebumps in their early teens. What if What if Gilbert Gottfried stopped sucking and fucking? I mean, it's an interesting hypothesis. Uh, Perhaps too unbelievable, even for a kid's story. Kid keeps seeing a little gremlin. Yes, kid keeps seeing a little gremlin. Because then we can do a sort of Twilight Zone thing, right? Terror at a... What's a Fortnite version of a very high up distance? Oh no, you didn't clip it, did you? I can't believe that me, the master of get people saying Luigi is daddy on stream, has been got. You can't get a getter, can you? Can you? What if a getter could be got? What if a kidder could be kidded? Huh? What if a bullshitter could be bullshitted? I mean, these are all tough. These are all tough. Tough things. Kids watching streams in his dreams. Yeah, I like it. I don't know if that was a pitch, but I like it. Kids watching streams in their dreams. Yes. All right. Maybe it's a video game. Maybe it's a fork. Maybe it's a fork night. Maybe it's a fork night. And now you see, you're all telling me that English people are saying weird words. But what's the most popular game in the world? Fortnite. Who uses the word Fortnite? Not you guys. Not you guys. You are like, oh, what's a fortnight? How many nights is a fortnight? It's fort. It's fort of them. There are fortnights in a fortnight. Fortnite game, and when you go in it, you are really in it? Not sure. Forgot where I was going with that one, but we're on a roll. We're on a roll. Let's just keep going. Let's just keep rolling with the new. Rolling with the new. 4 nights. Listen up. We're listening up. 45 nights. Scene from The Shining where Duvall reads what Nichols has been writing. And it's this duck. Yeah. Wendy, darling, light of my life. Fortnight and 7 days ago. Exactly. But that's another time. It was a shift. There was a shift. Abe Lincoln was the last American to use the word fortnight. Fortnight and 7 scores ago, our fondling fathers. I mean, and it was really like that. It was really like that back then. That's how they talked. So Super Jazz invented Fortnite, right? What if Mike invented Fortnite? Because who are the bad guys in Goosebumps, right? They're either like fucked up little toys, or it's you're being lied to by adults, right? That is a big part of Goosebumps. I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong. I know some of the rest of you were also passionate about Goosebumps in your childhood, but I feel like grown-ups were lying to you was a big thing. You know, your teacher was an alien. Your teacher wasn't, and I know my teacher was an alien, wasn't Goosebumps, but it was a wonderful point and click adventure game. I enjoyed it very much as a child. Died a lot playing it. Could never figure out who the alien was. But that's the kind of thing that happened on it, right? Or your parents were lying to you. Vampire blood. They didn't tell you you were descended. You had vampire lineage. It was in your veins. It was in your damn veins. It was literally in your blood. Yeah, adults not listening to children is a big thing. So I'm just going to write that. Adults are lying to you. See, this would be my shining, I think. You look at my typewriter, and it just says, adults are lying to you. Adults are lying to you. Nothing bad happens if you stay up past your bedtime. You don't have to eat your broccoli. You don't have to. What if adults... Yeah, there was one about going invisible, wasn't there? But I think that was like... They drank a potion, but then it got stuck or something. And there was also one where they turned into a dog for similar reasons, and they also got stuck. And I feel like maybe that's something. So kids figure out a way to be like extra sneaky. I don't know for what purpose. So they can sneak out to the cool new pop concert. But it goes awry. Awry is a terrible word, isn't it? Because even all these years since I learned to speak English, and I will still say Ori in my head every single time, every time. Is that and Segway? I want it to be Sieg. I want it to be Sieg very badly. Uh, what's happened to Synth? Can somebody message Henry to go check on Synth, please? Uh, yeah, Synth is in a mood. Synth is in heat, I think, right now. I think Synth is feeling very confined by his plastic shell, and something's happening. This is not the quiet, respectable young fella that we've come to tolerate, is it? Who is this guy? Mods, get the mods on it. Kids figure out a way to be XG. It goes awry. It goes Ori, and now no adults can hear. Alternatively, this is how it can happen. It's like, is there a film or is it a book, like a Goosebumps style book, where the adults just disappear? Or is it a Twilight Zone? Is that a Twilight Zone where the adults just vanish? It's just the kids left alone. I feel like that's a Goosebumps. I think that might be a Goosebumps. Maybe it's that sort of thing where kids wake up one day. They've probably been playing like Little League the day before. That's the sort of thing how a Goosebumps thing opens. So you can set the characters. You can see how cool and tomboyish they are. Yeah, they're definitely, it's something. I cannot think what it is, but there is something. Is it the Jimmy Neutron movie? I never saw Jimmy Neutron. I remember all the adverts for it. I was very excited to see Jimmy Neutron. I was right in the right square bang in the demographic. But oh no, I'm letting Synth be rowdy. I am letting Synth be rowdy. I'm not really going to punish Synth. I would look. You know, my block finger is very itchy. Synth would be gone by now. Yeah, I can't think what it is though. Where the adults disappear. That is something. Somebody Google that for me, please. Producers, mods. Somebody Google that for me. Kids wake up one day and adults can't hear them. And I'm guessing, obviously, we have to stretch this out to, how long is a Goosebumps book? 200 pages? Probably not even that, right? Can't hear it. Can't hear them. I'm not othering children. Yeah, I know, Synth. I know your heart's in the right place, right? Your mouth is in the wrong place. Your mouth is in the damn toilet, okay? Your mouth is in the potty right now. But your heart's in the right place. I know that much. It could be. I know I said give yourself Goosebumps, which was, of course, the diffuse brand of Goosebumps, the choose your own adventure version of Goosebumps. I did enjoy it, kind of, but I don't know. Choose your own adventure. I don't want to say I don't like it, because there are lots of things that are basically choose your own adventure that I do like. You know, interactive novels are cool. Like, for instance, there's this one, Mike on Miami, Mikeo no Inotameni, which is essentially a choose your own adventure, and I thought that was really cool. I thought that was very fun. A witch, the Baba Yaga, I should say, sent that to me in an email, and I really enjoyed that. But I don't know if I ever enjoyed them as a kid. The actual books, choose your own adventure. It seems a bit lazy, you know. I just want to know what happens. I don't want to fall into a pit every 3 pages, because I was never any good at it. And then you have to cheat, and then you're not really getting a story. You're just getting like bits and pieces. However, I do love to give myself Goosebumps. So, you know, it swings and roundabouts. Swings and roundabouts. Yeah, you just... I was very big into reading as a kid. You know, I was a big reader. Certainly much more than I am now. You know, I used to read constantly. I loved it. And, you know, I respect the sanctity of the library and the literary form. And if somebody gives me a book, I'm not going to skip a bunch of pages. I'm not going to put it back on the shelf, having not read 50 out of the 100 pages in it. It's nonsense. I'm reading all of it. Yeah, exactly. I get enough of falling into a pit in real life, okay? I don't need to open a book. I read Choose Your Own Adventures to escape from my real life problems. So we got some sucker fuckers in the chat, have we? That's what I'm hearing. Again, don't like to gossip, but that is what I'm hearing. I'm hearing that Synth is one, or at least feeling like one, if not actually transformed into one. Craig 100% is one. I have heard that already. I've heard that before. He also has a crush on Paris Jackson. I don't want to tell tales out of school. 'Cause I was never any good at it. And then you have to cheat, and then you're not really getting a story. You're just getting like bits and pieces. However, I do love to give myself Goosebumps. So, you know, it swings and roundabouts. Swings and roundabouts. Yeah, exactly. I get enough of falling into a pit in real life, okay? I don't need to open a book. I read Choose Your Own Adventures to escape from my real life problems. So we got some sucker fuckers in the chat, have we? Free country. It is a free country. Right. I am going to read this. I've been avoiding reading this long thing from Synth because I'm just going to get called a sucker fucker. I know I am. What if the plot is centered on a possibly fictional documentary about a family whose house is impossibly larger on the inside than the outside? The format and structure of House of Leaves is unconventional, with unusual page layout and style, making it a prime example of ergodic literature. 1, 2. It contains copious footnotes, many of which contain footnotes themselves, including references to fictional books, films, or articles. 3. In contrast, some pages contain only a few words or lines of. Yeah, I mean, no bad ideas. So the plot is centered on a possibly fictional documentary about a family whose house is, thank God for spell check right now, impossibly larger. Nobody type anything. I'm trying to read this. On the inside than the outside. The format and structure of House of Leaves is unconventional, with unusual page layout and style, making, yeah, you know what I'm saying. This has really good autocorrect, Scrivener. You should get it now. It's like $40, making it a prime and impossible to find for free. Prime example of, and illegal, ergodic literature. 1, 2. It contains copious footnotes, many of which contain footnotes themselves, including references to fictional books, films, or articles. 3. In contrast, some pages contain only a few words or lines. Oh, let me misspell that. Lines of. Perfect. No. It's all right, because I cleaned up my system. I made it hack proof by deleting System 34 off my hard drive. I highly recommend everybody does it. And the other thing that helps you make things that helps you make things hack proof is if you press Alt and F4 or Command Q on a Mac. Press it twice sometimes to get it to work, and that's true, and that's not a prank, and that's true. Started reading House of Leaves last night. Right, don't know what that is. No idea what you're talking about. Yeah, no, it's all good advice. There's one thing. One of the other Watch Mojo top 5 things that you have to know about Mikio is that I'm really good with technology. Technology always works for me. It never fails me. I'm very good at figuring out how things work and getting them to work 100% of the time. The consistency in my use of tech. Because some people that I've heard of, that I know, not personally, obviously, I'd never be friends with people like this, but some people, they do the same thing every week, say on a Sunday at 1 p.m. Central. They do the exact same thing with the exact same setup. And it can do something completely different each week, the thing they've set up, and it can go wildly wrong each time. And you would think that would be impossible, given that they do the exact same thing in the exact same order, in the exact same fashion every single week, and have done for not too far away from a year now, not far off a year. But some people just can't get it. And I'm not like that. I'm really good at it. Well, what we're doing with these notes is they live in the binder here. So now, for instance, we can go here to project title. Okay. So the tags, and it's giving me notes. So the tags here get replaced with the information set in the metadata pane of compile. So that's something I probably should have read about in the tutorial, but I haven't got there yet, but that's fine. And what we can do is, while we're typing this, all right, we're on a blank page. This would presumably be the first page of our book, and we say it. No, I think you should let me type. It was an unusually stormy night in the sleepy town of Spookbrook, Illinois, right? And then we think, well, where do we want to go? Who are our characters, right? So then we can go into our side bit, and we've got a character bit, but we can add a document, right? This is a character, and it's Jackson, right? Just for example, Jackson Hardwire, okay, and his age, 12, right on the cusp of manhood, and the location is, of course, in Spookbrook, Illinois. So say we'd already had that, and we're on our blank page, right? And then we're thinking, oh, I want to introduce my main kid. So then I go into characters, on my side bit, on my binders, in my notes, and I can drop an image there. That's exciting. I can go into Jackson, and I go, oh yeah. So one of my characters is called Jackson Hardwire, and just instantly tab straight back into that. Look how easy that is. I don't have to open a different window, a different anything. Scrivener, it's like $44. $44. I think that's a one-time thing, right? No subscription. None of these subscriptions you hear about. Jackson was a tough kid. He was so tough, he didn't even wince while getting his meningitis jab. In fact, it tickled. Okay? So now we can do that, and then we think, oh, what do we want to introduce, right? What's happening here? So then we can go into our notes, into our president notes, perhaps, and we think, what if the president had a gun? So then we can write, he hadn't been able to sleep, however, since learning that the president had a gun. It wasn't that he was scared. Jackson Hardwire didn't know the meaning of the word. Just ask his English teacher. It was that this would make it harder for him to achieve the dream he had had since last summer while attending President's Camp. The dream was simple: to fight every living president. Okay, so now we can, and look, we've managed to flesh out the world just like that, just by clicking through our tabs, right? Just by having all these notes, having everything organized properly, having everything in its right place, as Radiohead once sang, and being able to just jump around so quickly, and already we've got a paragraph. Look how fleshy this world is. This is one of the spongiest worlds that I've ever had the honor of inhabiting during my time on the show, during my time with the C2 network. This is like Planet Flesh, and that's going in the notes as well, because Planet Flesh is 100% something that exists in Goosebumps. It's either the name of a Goosebumps book, or it's like the name of their favorite action movie, or like a video game. Like in Goosebumps, they play video games that are called like Planet Flesh 6, The Bloodening, and they're all played on like Super Nintendo still, even though it's supposed to be 2002 or whatever. Nothing's changed. You can just jump in multiplayer anytime. It's fine. That's how games work in the world of R.L. Stine, the spooky world. I remember when I was a kid, they used to have these little like interstitial things when Goosebumps was on TV, on whatever channel it was on over here, Fox Kids, I think, at the time. And they'd have like little interviews, little bumpers with R.L. Stine. And I remember he got asked a question from one of the readers in a letter, and it said, "Do you ever have nightmares?" Because he exists in such a spooky world, and he said, "No, I don't have nightmares because I have them all during the day." He was like, "My work is nightmares. The stuff that I come up with during the day is so terrifying. A nightmare couldn't compare. I couldn't have a nightmare. I couldn't have a nightmare if I wanted to, because I'm too busy having nightmares during the day." And that's another thing that has stuck with me for, I want to say 20 years at least, since I saw that, since that happened. That is, I mean, R.L. Stine, hardcore. Absolutely lives hardcore. He lives it. Nothing scares him anymore because his mind is too goddamn twisted. It's too full of scares and bewares. Yeah, I think it's got legs. I agree. I think it's got legs. I think it's got legs. I think we should let's goo. I don't know what all the Twitch emojis mean. I'm gonna be honest with you. Despite being great at technology and really, really young, I'm really, really young as well. I don't know what the Twitch emojis mean, but I think that Craig is complimenting. It has. It's only a shame that we can't have anything as like overtly erotic as Barbara in a Goosebumps book. I don't know, and it's not as though the readership of Goosebumps doesn't have some awareness of their sexuality. Because let's be honest, right? We can all talk. We can all say it honestly. I mean, it's true. I just don't know that it's our place or R.L. Stine's place to guide them through that. I don't really want to be responsible for the awakening of any Goosebumps readers. You can have a mum. Yeah, I don't know if you can say. Yeah, exactly. Don't be creepy is a good rule if you're making your living off of trying to scare small children. However, you do got to have something in there for the dads. You have to have something in there for the dads, right? Who are reading to help fill out their reading journal at school, or just a bedtime story. There's got to be something for the dads, something the kids won't get, but something the dads will absolutely turn into a cartoon wolf over. And that's a tricky line, and that is that's a line that R.L. Stine had to toe every day of the living nightmare that is his life. I almost said was his life. I think he is still alive. Do you think he is still alive? He tweeted at me once on an old account. I've just remembered that. He told me my idea was very good. Don't remember what the idea was. Just remember him telling me that I should write it instead. I don't think it was a serious idea. I think I just came up with a joke and decided R.L. Stine should read this. So I think I messaged him telling him I was a small child and that he should write this book for me. And he told me that it sounded great and I should write it myself. And now look at me. I'm all grown up. This is Twitter, so it wasn't that long ago. I'm all grown up now, and ready to step out into the world of writing my own Goosebumps. He gave me explicit permission to write a Goosebumps book, and that's true, and that's undeniable. So yeah, let's not describe a MILF, but let's have one in there. Let's at least give a little code word in there for the dads so they can read it, or maybe the cover, because the covers were always so good. Who did the Goosebumps covers? Somebody look, producers. Mods, look this up. Who did the covers? Because the Goosebumps covers were great. I think the early ones were done by someone different, but when they got like the main guy, the guy who did them, they were great. They were works of art. So I'm just gonna put MILF in there. MILF secret. I think you can say that one of the characters thinks that one of his friend's mums is pretty. Yeah, we can get the covers. I was thinking this earlier as well. This is going to be a multimedia project, much like Zoggy was with all our fan art. But we have to create the cover. We have to create the cover. We've got some fantastic artists on the team and team adjacent. So let's get some covers made. Let's write this up. Get some covers made. I reckon. How long do you think it takes R.L. Stine to write a Goosebumps book? I think he does like 10 a year, or he did at his peak. Right, so I think you can bang these out, and I reckon we could bash one out if we just get the outline done, and then we can do it. A couple of weeks. I think it'll take us a couple of weeks because obviously we've only got an hour a week to do it. He probably puts in 2.5 hours a week minimum to do it. So we can get this done. I think we can get this done. But I love where this is so far, and we're just coming up to the end, and I'm going to be quite strict with my timing because I've got takeout coming. For my dinner that I think has been timed to finish. Yeah. How long would it take you to read a Goosebumps book? You can get through a Goosebumps book in a couple of hours, right? So I reckon you can probably write one in about the same amount of time. more or less how it should work. Who knows? Anyway, we're 1 minute away from the end, so I'm going to say my goodbyes because I know I can take about 20 minutes. I reckon, yeah, I'm thinking as a kid it would maybe take me a couple of sessions to get through a Goosebumps book because, I'd read a couple of chapters a night or something. But now as an adult with my adult eyes and my adult brain, I could smash through a Goosebumps book. I could read a Goosebumps book on stream, start to finish. I bet you. Somebody send me a Goosebumps book. My address is out there, floating somewhere on the orbosphere. Nobody's offended, Synth. Don't worry. Nobody's offended. I am going to murder you. I am going to kill you, but not out of offense. Just out of I'm talking so much about a lust for darkness and blood that I have to get out of my system. And you're as good a person as any. It's because I respect you. Yeah. Well, you should read some, Eurodov. I think you should read some. Everyone knows your address. Anyone with access to the merch store has everyone's address. So I'm just going to send you all Goosebumps books. I have all of your government details, and I'm going to send you all a Goosebumps book in the mail. Everyone this is my promise to you all. If we're doing a new season of merch soon, everybody who orders from the new collection gets a Goosebumps book from me, signed. Gets a signed Goosebumps book from me. That's a guarantee. Okay, so wait for the new season. Nothing before the new season counts. But anyone who buys from the new season gets a Goosebumps book from me. Don't listen to me. Why am I giving away the secret that it's all a scam so that I can get your home addresses? I think that's a good idea, Synth. I think that's a good idea. No, I'm sending you all mysterious packages in the mail against your will. Even if, like Egg, you've made it very clear you don't want me to do this. You're worried about people following you. You don't want me to even admit to the fact that I have your home address. I'm going to send you books. I'm sending you all Goosebumps books, and that's all there is to it. There's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do. Yeah, it's a very limited edition. I'll come up with more rules because I'm not just going to send out books indefinitely. Maybe I will really do this. Maybe I will. It's not creepy if you announce it on stream. If the streamer says they're giving you a gift, you're not allowed to worry about how they know where to send it. You're not allowed. There's nothing you can do. So that's it for the show. I think we did some great work today. Thanks everyone for stopping by. Champagne for everyone who saw the new intro at the beginning. Real pain for everyone who came in late or saw an advert because they can't be bothered to subscribe to us. But remember, as always, be kind to every version of yourself, no matter what creepy little universe they might come from. And I love you all, and I will see you all next week on the other side. Ooh.